Welcome to Wednesday Comics.
Brought to you by rootsoftheswampthing.com and SuperCon 2018 Return of the Con.
Hey everyone, keep turning those pages.
Welcome to Wednesday Comics. To my right, Cosmic Ghost Rider himself, Alex. Alex, how you doing?
Hello everybody.
And across from me, Beta Rail Bill, Garrett. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
And I am Groot himself, Marvin. This is the Wednesday Comics podcast, telling you the books that came out 1/23/29. Not telling you, reviewing them.
19.
What's up?
You said 1/23/29.
Well, I'm Betty. I'm in the future.
Holy shit.
I'm in the future. We're talking Guardians.
10-year challenge.
So that means future. So we'll talk about those reviews. I have a game later. We'll see how it works. But first, free talk. And actually, we're going to use that term very literally today. We're going to do a little free-for-all talk. Across from me, we have Garrett Walls. And he's been watching the Deadly Class TV show. We talked about Deadly Class last week on the show, the comic book. Its return after 6 months. But Garrett, is it... Two questions. How is the show? 2, as an adaptation, how's it going? And 3, was it worth sacrificing that comic for that show? Go ahead.
What was the first question?
How was the show?
The show is amazing. I really enjoyed the pilot. So what happens in Deadly Class, for all you people that haven't read it yet, is there's a heavy influence of 70s and 80s bands, 90s even. No, it's only 80s.
Punk rock,
87.
80s.
Punk rock 80s. What's really cool is using TV as a medium to tell this story is that music just gets to play in the background. And that's pretty fun because, I think for all of us, some of the songs we know, but not every single song that's mentioned in Deadly Class. So it's kind of cool that all that music that you were hoping to hear is actually, you're hearing it in the show. I think the characters who they cast for the main cast are dead on. They're people that I would think, holy crap, 100% I believe you are this person. The only one I don't is Victor. Victor is really tiny.
Oh, really?
I mean, he's like a taller guy, but yeah, he's not that big. Shabnam, 100% looks like Shabnam. What was the second question?
How is it as an adaptation?
As an adaptation, I think it's dead on. It makes you remember issues 1-21, and you're just like, holy shit, to get from basically we're at issue 1 territory. They've added some cool things, obviously you're making this a TV show, you got to add more content than what's in the comics. But when, I can't believe where we are at now, which is the pilot basically, and we're going to get to some crazy shit. I mean, I don't want to spoil it. I want people to read this book, watch the show.
Lastly, was it worth it to take Rick Remender's time away?
So
write this comic. I
watched the pilot last week, and I was like, holy crap, this was amazing. And then I read issue 36 of Deadly Class, and it made me feel pretty sick, because I was like, well, that's great and all, but I've already read this story, and so, was it worth it? I'm going to say no. I mean, it's amazing, and I'm going to watch it every week, because it's nostalgia now, basically, for reading 1-21 and the rest of the series. But I think that's kind of an insult to what got you to the point to make a TV show. I think there should have been more planning done, so we didn't go a year without the comic, especially coming back to a freaking filler drug trip.
Yeah.
That was pretty disappointing. And especially with the cover, you're expecting
a showdown almost.
Showdown with Master, which I also thought was maybe that's a little too soon. Get us back to these characters. So I think the book's got to be stripped back down to who the characters are and where they've come from, and then, but not the way that it was presented just now.
To be fair, they did.
They did that. They showed us where they've come from, but I think giving us more time with the characters so that when we get to that reveal of all these characters mashing together again, it's going to be jaw-dropping. But for the TV show, it does make me love that universe again. It makes me super excited to see what's to come in the show, because I already know there's going to be a lot of cool original story there, but with the comic, I'm pretty worried because I think it feels like Deadly Class is running out of steam, the comic.
Yeah.
and I'm scared it's going to end in this really shitty way.
Well, I guess I realize we're not talking Deadly Class as a book, but 36 may have been the wrong issue to compare to the show. Unfortunately, I'm hoping 37 gives us a little more boost into what we're going to get into, but I have a feeling I think Garrett's right. It's going to be a little weaker than we want.
Right, but I think it has the potential to get back on track. Like, Rick Remender's got a year under his belt, so hopefully he did something besides just the TV show.
We'll see.
Next, we wanted to talk about follow-up from not only the announcement of DC putting some comics on Comixology Unlimited, and then my announcement last week that I dipped my toes into that, but just my decision a couple months ago, I think, to go full digital. And the reason why I do that, and I say that knowing that certain people listen to this and probably they enjoy print, and you know what? Whatever one you enjoy. Like, I enjoy print too, right? The benefits for digital outweigh the benefits for print, and how the situation that I'm in. And what I mean by that is busy. I'm about to have 2 kids. Not organized, but looking around, you could tell. So when I want to read something, geez, it's a struggle, and it was so frustrating. And 3, I just don't care. Like, you guys are collectors, and I don't care to collect. I just want to read the stories. So for me, it's very easy to be at work on a Wednesday. Comics come out on my lunch break. I download them. I start reading them. I come home, and maybe I don't want to read anymore on my phone. I can read it on my iPad, and maybe when I'm at work, if my phone is, also I can pop it out on my computer during lunch and read it on my computer. So just for me, like, the ease of reading digital has, I would say, for me, buying physically for a little bit towards the end there before I decided to switch was killing the joy of comics for me, because it was a hassle to go down there, which they're not far away. And I'm not saying anything against the shop we went to. Just for me and my lifestyle that it is right now, I just couldn't find time to go down there. And if there was a way to buy digital comics from them, I would. And not get a physical copy, just get digitally on my... But right now, as it works, there's probably there's only one major comic online realtor, Comixology, because Amazon bought them, and Amazon, Amazon, they take care of everything. So I wanted to bring up and it's not all going to be positive. Actually, there's some things I don't like, but my review of having digital comics for almost 2 months now. 1, I love that the colors seem more vibrant on print. It depending on how good the print job was. Sometimes you get a comic that is not so great when maybe that's not how it's supposed to look. On digital, it's always consistent. I've enjoyed that. 2, like I said, the ease of use. Wherever I need to read it, it's there. And 3, the organization take care of it for me, so I don't have to worry about that. It's, you want to look for a title, boom, all in there. Which helped last week when we read Doomsday Clock. I had them all lined up in my thing, because if that would have been Prince, buddy, I don't know how long I would have looked for those comics. So,
but there's one drop side though. Sometimes you miss out on the things like was it Batawang? You never saw that.
That's true. So that's what I was gonna say. There's not all good things. One, the option of being involved with something like that, they would always go back and they can fix it. So it's always a living document in that way. So I can't experience one-offs like that, even a printing error. And also something that we just mentioned before we started the show. We mentioned that Alex, I asked him if a certain comic has came out in a while, and he said, yeah, he only knows though because he would go to the shop and see it on the wall. And I was like, oh, I didn't know it came out. So I have to be more aware of what's coming out. This is a smaller book, not really a big book. And so I was just like...
Well, for the record, usually when we do the forecast, it's in the upside down, because this book is from a smaller universe that doesn't have a title that, it wouldn't get brought up in anything else.
Yeah, and the way Comixology lies it out is either alphabetical, or they put some recommendations for me, and usually they're from the big 2. They really don't focus on many indie comics. So that's the only downside. It's like I'm looking at, instead of seeing everything from afar and I can kind of see what I want to get, they show me what they think I will like, and also it's alphabetical. And I'm not going through that list. You've seen all those comics.
Well, for the record, there's all the 80 different covers of Belladonna or Zombie Tramp or whatever. I don't need to see all those.
The cool thing is, though, and just so I can look at it, no matter what comic I buy, like Batman, it'll have the first cover, and you turn the page, and then it's all the variant covers, so I can at least look at
Oh,
them.
cool.
It's been good so far. It's not. There's some joy with getting a paper copy. The smell of it. I know we've said that before. The texture, being able to sit down with a stack of comics. I do kind of miss that a little bit. It's a little nostalgia right now. But the ease of use, I think, outweighs it for me.
Well, the thing that entices me is I always thought digital had potential to wipe out the print market. But when you're charging the same price for digital as you are print, which I don't think is fair, like obviously a lot of that price goes into printing the comic. I feel that digital comics should be discounted. Like maybe, I get it, it's the saturated markets, maybe you make it $3.
15%?
I don't know. I think $3 is reasonable. Take $1 off. I think that's fair.
For a $3.99 book?
Yeah, for a $3.99 book, $3, $5 go. So you're just taking $1 off every price. And I think that's fair. And I bet you would see a huge. I would go to digital for $1 off. And now that you said this Comixology Unlimited comes with 15%, well, I'm kind of thinking about
60 cents about. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking about potentially not
For
all
$3.99.
books. I mean, my collector books like Action, Superman, Detective, Batman, for sure I want print. Some others I want, but not every single one. I mean, almost half my Marvel books, I don't really care if I have a printer.
The thing I will say, though, not talking about buying your comics weekly on digital, but just in terms of supplementing even if you got them in print, like the use of Hoopla and stuff like that is fantastic because you could try out books that you would never try out if you had to pay for them. So it depends on what your library allows you to do. I think ours allows us 9 titles a month. You can rent up to 9 at a time. And right now, on my docket, actually, when Criminal came out, I didn't have to buy it. It's right here. I rented it. And Gasolina, because Garrett said to read it, so I downloaded that to try it out. So, and usually, especially with Image and with Boom, all of it goes on there. So it's pretty nice. So
Boom and does
DC.
individual issues. Like when a new issue comes out, it goes on Hoopla. So but it counts as one of your rentals. So
yeah,
that's the only
I'm gonna
downside.
check and see if Buffy gets on.
Is that 9 rentals a month?
Yeah,
Or is that 9 rentals after I read the issue, I can return it and then rent another one?
a month.
Okay.
Because they pay. So when you rent something, I think they pay some sort of licensing fee to the company.
Okay.
So they allow a certain amount per their budget. So 9 a month, it tells you on this day it resets. And you can always return the book early. Because the reason why you do that, if you keep it past the day, you're past your month, like keep a book, you're still reading it, that counts towards the next month then.
Oh, I see.
So you want to
then
return
lose-
them before the month is over, so that way you have your all 9.
Okay. Because I thought about getting into Hoopla just to read old things.
Great.
Like actually, right now, I was telling the guys earlier this week I had gotten Amazon Kindle, and I was reading.
Aquaman?
I'm reading Aquaman by Dan Abnett, and I don't remember who the artist is, but I actually ended up reading
Brad Walker.
Wonder Woman. Is it Earth One? With
Yeah.
Grant Morrison.
Grant Morrison?
It was different than I was expecting, but you know what? The nice thing is, if my daughter's asleep, she can sleep on my lap and I can read without having to get up to go get a book. I'm not saying I will start collecting online.
No, but it's for these things.
But
you
it's
wanna
one
go
of these
back
things,
and read,
I want to read this, but I don't want to buy it.
So that I will recommend to everybody. The buying the comics, it's wherever your preference is. I think we're still in that day and age, like Gary was saying. There's no really 100% benefit, like some blind benefit. You're like, yeah, of course you would do digital. It's cheaper. There's nothing really like that. It's just more what you want to do with it. But supplementing whatever one you use with these services like Hoopla, I think that is almost like a slam dunk. Or Amazon Reading if you have the Prime already. Like it's a slam dunk. You're not paying more for it. You're trying out old stuff. And
Does Hoopla carry the Earth One books?
yeah, they're on there.
Holy
all of them.
shit! Because I'm gonna go read. I just need to get on Hoopla and read all
Go
the.
to the library.
Have you not read Batman or Superman Earth One?
I've read Batman 1 and 2. I know those 2 came out.
They're
and
on
I've
there.
read 1 and 2 of Superman, but I don't have 3.
So we talked about Teen Titans,
Three's
Earth
okay.
One. I want to read because that's Jeff Lemire.
So I want to read Teen
I've read
Titans. The Grant Morrison.
There's a
another-
second one out too.
Okay.
And Wonder Woman Earth One
coming
Volume
out
2 is
again.
coming out soon.
And also the those old collections like Batman Silver Age, Green Lantern Silver Age, those are all in there.
Like the showcase.
So want to read old stuff, yeah. Like that Green Lantern I have back to the Silver Age one. But you actually, that's a good point, especially for parents. Like Jack too, when I'm trying to put him down, I can read it. And especially like in the dark, like you can't turn on the light, he's going to wake up, but you can turn your phone low enough, you can still see it. It's good.
And the nice thing is that
Read it anywhere.
what's the touch thing where you touch it and it goes to the next panel or panel to panel touch?
Yeah.
What, I don't know what to call it.
It's called screen touching.
Screen touching.
reading.
I like it, but it's nice because then I don't get confused because some of those books are kind of funky to read, And it does really do the left to right or wherever
I
you're
think it would be
supposed
nice to read The Flash by Francis Maniple doing that.
Yes.
I
So
think it would
actually
make
get
it a lot
the right
more
story.
enjoyable.
So when I read on my phone, I usually do it that way just because it's a smaller screen and it's easier to see it panel by panel. And I actually really do enjoy it. It actually doesn't really take anything away from it because every once in a while, especially if you get in arts like Andrea Sorrentino, when I read Gideon Falls, they'll do all the panels and then they'll pull out so you can see the whole thing.
Right.
But when I read on my iPad, I actually just do full page because it looks like the same size of a comic.
Yeah.
So,
But actually, my wife and I are talking about maybe getting a tablet just for my reading comic books. It's easier to get your than getting your computer up and ready. You know what? I'm not going to cave.
oh, we know you're not.
But-
that collection's too important to Alec Pastrell.
Dude, I
but
thought you were on a stone
supplement.
But
The supplementing and getting back into reading comic book history like that, like being able to jump in and be like, I'm not going to go buy, the Silver Age of Batman, but I might take a dip and see how it is. Golden Age of Superman, I read that. It's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's pretty good. You know how old comics I think we talked about it before in this show, sometime in a little wordy. Superman Golden Age is fantastic.
I'm going through all my back issues of the comics I've bought over the years, and I'm in like the early. Well, right now I'm in Batman 300s, but I did read some Superman, early Superman, and it's pretty.
They have a lot of Batman on there. Batman that we talked about on this show one time. God, what is it called? The one Gothic. This one. Did we talk about it on the show?
no.
Oh,
Like
I read
Gaslight?
it. I read it. But that character showed up later on in Grant Morrison thing that we talked about, I think. Well, that was free talk for this week. So Garrett says he recommends the Daily Class TV show. So 2 episodes out. If you have go to the Sci-Fi website, you can watch them on there. Or if you have the app, I believe they're on there too. Check that out. I actually am interested in checking that out. And if you have any cable subscriber, they're probably on video on demand also. So, and digital comics, do what you want, but I would recommend Hoopla supplement your reading already. It's just like going to the library. You can still buy new books. Go to the library, get some old books. Even the library is also a great resource if you want to read in print. They got some comics there. But check out your local library. Support your local library. They're not only a place to read stuff, they have a lot of other services too. Now we're going to get into these books this week. A little caveat here. Speaking of being busy, today was a day for me and yesterday. So I only got 3 of the books read, but the most important 3, I'll say.
Bless you. Vampire cough, man. Sneeze.
One of them I was never intending to read, but after you guys are done talking, I may look for it. And the other 2 I just didn't read because I fell behind. But we are going to talk about Shazam #2. This is Jeff Johns and Dan Eaglesham. The second issue
Dale.
of the... Dale? What'd I say?
Dan.
Danny Daly. This is the second issue of the new Shazam ongoing. And right up front, I just want to say this book's really fun.
It's so good.
So we get this story, right? They're trying to figure out which world to go to because the current storyline is Shazam in the 7 Wonders or 7 Lands, something like that.
Magic
7
lands.
Yeah,
7 Magic Lands. And so they're looking at a map, deciding which one they want to go to first. There's a lot of choices there. The Wildlands, the Game Land,
Funland.
Funland,
Monsterland. Other land.
One land is closed off.
Earthland, which is where they're from, and they don't want to go there. They want to go back home. So they decide to go to Funland, right?
Yes.
And so they take the train to Funland, and they get there. Guess what? Big amusement park, a clown, by the way, creepy clown, shows up and says, yeah, go right ahead. But what's in there? We're like, oh, just go ahead and check it out. Which, first off, I would have left. Because I don't know if you guys seen Goodfellas before, but that's what Robert De Niro does before he tries to whack somebody. He's like, oh, yeah, just around the corner. This way. And I know what happens there. You don't just walk in where you don't know what's happening, especially with that clown. 2-foot clown? Not going to do it. I've seen it. And so they go in there, though, and it's a huge park, right? There's a lot of kids. Probably too much kids. I don't know how that is fun for anybody having 1 million kids like that around, but all right. And some cool rides, and they're trying to figure out Mary's suspicious. And plus, she's got some exams to take, so she doesn't want to be there, really. But everybody else is into it, having fun. But there's an eerie kind of sense that maybe not everything is the up here, right? They chase some adult with a cake, saying it's your birthday, and he said, no, I don't want that, which is kind of like, it's creepy in a way that we know something is happening, but nothing's creepy about the actual panel. Like,
Right.
It's just like being like, why is he
Why
not
are you
wanting
afraid of cake?
To be fair, I don't like cake either, so. It has to
I
be a
like
certain
cake, but I
Maybe
don't like
it's a
kids chasing me
cake.
around with cake.
A cake that can kill you.
Well, it almost feels like in Pinocchio that
That's what I was
island
gonna say,
of
yeah.
bad boys.
Misfit, no,
No, that's red.
that's
Rudolph
Red
the Red-Nosed.
River.
But But that's what this reminds me of, or even Neverland from Peter Pan, where these kids maybe these kids never grow up. This one guy either grew up or
Found himself there.
found himself there, and that's why these kids are kind of not. I don't know if it's punishing because we don't know what's happening yet, but there's something wrong. Or all these kids are not necessarily naughty, but they're just having the time of their life. There's no rules. There's no curfew. You just do what the hell you want. And eventually something bad is going to get these kids. Well, then at the end of the issue, you find out, what is it, the 7th member of the...
Kid Candy, right?
Yeah.
The
Shows
7th
up.
god.
Yeah. God of the region, or...
I'm sure he's going to be like god of mischief.
So
He's Loki.
let me say something about Jeff Johns' writing, because I would claim that Jeff Johns is the writer who got me into comics with his Green Lantern run. That's probably the first thing that I read ongoing. And Green Lantern Corps and all the books he was putting out at the time. And then we're reading Doomsday Clock right now, and then this. So we're kind of in a Jeff Johns little renaissance or resurgence. Jeff Johns is a writer. When I read something that he wrote, I know it's him, but I cannot identify Jeff Johns' style. So like what I mean by that is some people I read and be like, okay, this is Grant Morrison. If you give me a blank sheet of paper and tell me who it was, and I read Grant Morrison, I would know that's Grant Morrison, right? But Jeff Johns is so good at being a chameleon and letting the characters talk that if you think about this and like a Doomsday Clock, I can't tell like who wrote this book. They're both just different and fantastic. This is really a really fun book in the way that it's like fantastical and very magical, which makes sense for Shazam, and very much about family, because we have this story. We also have a B story about Billy's real dad shows up. When we say that in quotations because we're not sure. It's just a guy who showed up and said, hey, I'm Billy's dad. And his foster parents deciding, how do you handle that? Do you let him go with his real dad? Because that's his right. It's his kid, but it's their kid really also, because he's been with them for a long time and they do love him. He loves being there, and what's the right thing to do? So we get, this fun, fantastical story that might go a little sour. And then we got this situation which is more realistic and grounded, having to do with them being foster kids rather than him being Shazam. Yes, Alex.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think of when you said that you don't know the chameleon way that Jeff Johns writes. I think part of it is the focus on characters. And because I was a little not concerned, that's not the right word, but I started reading this. Wow, there's, I don't know how to absorb this book. And for a book that's called Shazam, he's never actually in the book.
Well,
the whole team is Shazam. I get that. And it's Bruce being Batman.
In the first issue, you got some Shazam.
Yeah. But I love this issue, and I think a part of it is that all these kids do sound different when I read them. Freddy's kind of that balls to the wall, who gives a shit, we're going to go have some fun. Billy is he's not necessarily the brainy one, that's Mary, I get.
But he's the leader.
But he's the leader. He's the one who gave his power to the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm blown away. This is the first Shazam book I've ever read. Hashtag GuestHost1, Marvin Garrett got me a, what's his name? Jeff Smith.
What is Jeff Parker?
No, Jeff Smith.
Jeff Smith?
From
you're
Bone.
right, Jeff Smith.
Writer of Bone.
And so I'm getting my foot in the Shazam door, and I am super excited to be on this book. And I think Jeff Johns is probably one of the best writers that have taken this character and to expose me to what he's about.
I love Jeff Johns. I think exactly what you guys have said. He is so character focused. That's how you can just dive into his books and not even realize that he's the one telling the story. He understands the history of these characters, but he still knows how to keep like emotion into these characters, keeps them who they're supposed to be. So, even this book is about the Shazam family. I do see a lot of character development for Billy already in these two issues. How is it that you can wield all this power? You give these powers to your family, but yet he still is the god or the holder of that magic, the Shazam, one of the 7 gods. So,
what's the bad guy's name? Dr. Mind.
Oh yeah, they did mention that. There's like
he's also
Dr. Savannah's in there.
Yeah, he has a little story in here also that he's trying to make some sort of potion or bring magic, do some sort of magic spell.
Okay, because in that long page of stuff, it tells you that is he the god of worms? Is that how I understood it? That he's the god of worms, or at least this one part where you're reading there's a worm in someone's head telling him what to do, or I didn't quite understand.
The worm is controlling him right now. Right. By the way, in
his head,
the Shazam movie, that is the main villain, played by Mark Strong, who was Sinestro. So,
really?
There's a Jeff Johns connection for you also. Dale Eaglesham's art. I feel like it's a classic look without looking old, and actually the colors are fantastic. I'm not sure the colorist is. I should look that up here in a second. But I do enjoy that art style. He did some of Terrifics a little bit ago, and I think it fits because this is a character that's been around forever. A character that doesn't have a book in forever, and I do feel like that's the art style that Shazam should be. It's kind of actually, when you that Jeff Smith book that you have, it's kind of like this too also. So it's kind of the way you draw Shazam. Like, he shouldn't be super realistic. He should be kind of fun.
Cartoony, yeah.
But I actually was going to say that I think the facial work is really good.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at Billy, he's kind of got that, what kind of thing is going on here? I don't know, that not confused, but almost, I'm going to say concerned look. There's something not right sitting on him. I think this book looks amazing as well. I don't want to give all the credit to Jeff Johns, but this book looks and reads spectacularly.
Colorist Mike Attia. So there you go. Actually, Dale was not the artist in this issue. Well,
really?
Excuse me. Marco Santucco.
Oh.
So thank you. And then we had a variant cover from Chris Samney doing variant covers over at
I did like
DC
that
now.
Cover.
Right?
That variant cover. The main cover I thought was pretty. It reminded me of the DC Holiday Special. That's why it looked pretty fun.
Well, I'm wondering, did we get the last issue in December, or was it like last week in November?
I'll check right here.
Judging by that cover, I assume this was supposed to be for December,
Right.
but it was worth the wait. It's good.
I would give this issue a 9.
9.
I think it's a lot of fun. We're halfway through the first arc, if it is a 3-issue arc, and I am excited to see what's next. Like, this is a character I don't know a huge amount about. Maybe I know a little bit more than you, like with Dr. Sivana and Black Adam and everything, but I think this is a great jumping on point right before that movie comes out, too.
December 5th, the first issue came out.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay. It just seems, I guess we're at the end of this month, so it just feels
yeah, it's been
like
about
the Captain America Black Panther
5-6 weeks. Yeah. So that is Shazam number 2. Go pick it up. First 2 issues has been fantastic so far.
We got Immortal Hulk number 12 by Al Ewing and Joe Bennett on art. I binge read 11 and 12 back to back, and I think I'm glad I did.
Right.
There was one panel in 11 that was creepy as hell, and it's when is it Rick Jones was his name?
Yep.
Okay. He's got no eye sockets. We're in hell. Whatever version of hell this is.
What's issue 12, Alex?
Volume 2. Volume 2. No, it's ruined.
Whatever.
It's only good when I do Saga of the Swamp Thing. Volume 2. Anyway, this issue, we're getting back into almost horror-esque.
Very much so. There's a lot of flashbacks to black and white to when Bruce was a kid and his dad was very abusive and not a great dad by any means, like horrible dad. So much so that his dad blames Bruce for himself murdering Bruce's mother.
Yep.
And he's like, you took all the love from me.
Your grandfather was a jackass to me, and that's why I was beating you. And your mom loved me, and then when she told me she was pregnant with you, all that love went away when you were born. You're a monster. No wonder the Hulk came and beat the shit out of you.
Well, they show a scene too where Bruce is playing with this set that he's like 6 and it's for 12-year-olds, whatever, and the dad's pissed because he's like, you're not even supposed to be playing with this. You're 6 years old. This is twice your age, whatever. And then there's another flashback of Bruce getting angry because he's mad because he worked really hard on this like Lego set, basically. And then in the background, you see Bruce's dad shove his mom's face into the cement in the background.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy fuck. Like, that is dark.
Yeah. This element, that was a tough like couple panels to read. I mean, I never grew up in that kind of family, but as a parent now, that's hard to read.
Yeah,
and to be like, how can you be that horrible of a person to your wife and your child? If I were the Hulk, I would have just ripped you in half.
Well, that's the thing. You can't. Like, you can't right now.
When he hulks out, he can.
Well, and also, like, I feel like this issue should have been maybe closer to when we got revealed that his dad was inside him as well. His essence, which I don't think plot-wise that makes any sense. But it is very cool character development because, like, I don't feel like they've touched on Bruce's origins, like, before he became Hulk.
Prior to him
for
doing
quite a
while.
while. So this is pretty exciting, kind of going back to that history and lore and kind of seeing some of Bruce's internal motivations, not necessarily the Hulk's, but because Bruce is the Hulk, that kind of gets like enhanced quite a bit.
I like this. Is it necessarily the brainy Hulk, or is it just Hulk / Bruce combined right now?
No, because like they're talking about how Bruce in hell is like he's not in control.
Okay.
But Hulk's in control.
Because Bruce is the one that's being whatever by his father, right?
Right.
Okay, so it's Hulk just being put together and actually being coherent.
But he's like sharing the memories of his dad because
From Bruce.
because he is in hell.
Okay.
Like he's experiencing like
And that's his hell, I suppose.
right.
Okay.
Coolest scene ever in this issue 12 though, I think there was this like monster coming to kill Hulk and whatever lady was with him.
This is I believe the
Like Leviathan.
newscaster. Oh, the giant thing at the end.
Yeah. Well, they were describing this monster like, oh, he controls hell, whatever. And Hulk's like, that's not true. And the lady's like, what do you mean that's not true? I control hell. Yeah. Like, oh, that was fucking cool.
Yeah. This is one of those.
But he
books
does it with that grin, that scary grin.
from Gideon Falls.
Oh, dude, Joe Bennett can draw that Hulk scary grin like nobody else.
on a book on an issue that Joe is not on. This book really lacks.
Right.
Reading 11 and 12, the book looks amazing. It's grotesque. You get that B story of Puck finding a absorbing man, and they're going to go find Bruce. And Bruce is now stuck on this mountaintop with his father, who's apparently yelling at the Hulk, or it's just talking to Bruce, going, "You're the reason my life has been ruined. You killed me the first time, and then you came back as a Hulk and killed me again and sent me deeper into hell." And I don't know, did we get brought into hell through was it an explosion with Absorbing Man?
Something like that.
Okay, because I don't understand how we necessarily got here, and I forgot that the news reporter girl was near Hulk when it happened, and so there's things I'm not asking.
I think the edges of the story are so not clear, but like I think the essence of the story is really good.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I mean, it's simple. Even Hulk looks like gangly and whatever. It's like being in hell. He's stripped of all like the meat on his bones. Yep. He's still Hulk,
but he's still strong as there is.
Yeah,
because was it issue 11 that we run into Ross?
Yeah.
Okay, so spoilers. You run into Ross. Ross is there to torture Hulk, and he hulks out into Red Hulk, and they duke it out, and Red Hulk is beating the shit out of Bruce, and all of a sudden it's just kind of one of those catches his fist and goes no, and then starts beating. This book is actually very good, and
I think they needed this arc because we had that kind of what was it, the Alpha Flight arc with really focused on Sasquatch. And that was kind of like I kind of lost interest at that point, and then this arc has really brought me back in. I'm gonna give this issue a 10. Like I think it was simple. It was horrifying in parts. Got a lot of backstory that we've been wanting between Bruce and his dad, and that smile at the end of that comic.
It actually, every time you bring it up, it just kind of goes back into my head going, yeah, that was terrifying. I would actually give this a 9. Mm-hmm. You and I talking right now saying that there's a few things on the outer edge that kind of bug me. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, it does. It's not perfect, but this is pretty damn near close.
Right. Next we have Wildstorm. What? Wildstorm number 19, written by Warren Ellis with art by, is it John Davies Hunt?
John, right? John Davis Hunt. I think it's John Davis Hunt.
Yeah,
I know it's
John
Davis Hunt.
Maybe Davis, one of the two. I will say this book looks amazing. Mm-hmm. What's happening in the story? No fucking idea. Nah, I have a semblance of what's going on. I mean, it's diving deeper and deeper into the history of Io versus Skywatch. And I feel like that's what we've been playing ever since issue 11, like after the Grifter and all them doing that final mission before the halfway point.
Yeah.
Like after that, I'm like, okay, we get it. Io and Skywatch hate each other. Like I don't think you could really bash that in our heads anymore. But they decide to in this issue.
John Davis Hunt.
What is it? Jenny Mae Sparks. Is she the one that is the immortal?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So she's kind of going back into her history. She's been alive a lot longer, and she kind of dives even deeper into the Io versus Skywatch history. We finally get to see what both type of alien group looks like. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, this book overall, this series overall, it is doing a very nice job of expanding and expanding, but you get a lot of repeat of the same thing. The only thing that bugged me in this issue is that some of the issue covers, like there's issue 3, which had Sparks on it. There's issue 5, which I think had the engineer flying in her suit. We're getting recycled things that we've already seen, technically. But I think a part of me wants to see how this. I know we're 5 issues away, so we're gonna find out how it ends soon enough. But I think this is one of those books we've been on a hiatus for 4 months, 5 months now.
Mm-hmm.
I got into this going, oh, okay. Even though I literally just read 18 before that, I still like, what the hell did I just read? What am I reading?
I mean, it looks beautiful. That is some of the greatest art. And each character has their own design, has their own look. If they were wearing different outfits, I could still tell who each person is. There's even a little weird orgy in the middle of the book that I was like, I didn't see that coming, but okay, sure. Why not?
To be fair, I probably wants to know how they got to that point.
Yeah, that's
They're all having just
pretty big
weird,
bed
a weird conversation. All of a sudden, we wake up all together. All right.
Yeah. She's like, some of them are still asleep. I was like, Jesus.
Well, that's what is her name? The medic or the witch or the god is what they call her or something like that.
She's like the Oracle.
Yeah. Everybody else is asleep. What are you doing? I'm in the astral plane, bro. And then we got into these like 4 mega gods or creators of something, and they're having this conversation. And they tell you, the was it combat medic always fights, or they will fight back, or they return fire. And I was like, what are we getting? Like, I know we're getting into the good.
It's like, that would have been so badass if I knew what the fuck was going on. It was like a motivational speech when they don't explain anything to get you to that point. I did think it's cool. I think it's is Skywatch the one with the old man that's kind of evil? Or is that IO? Skywatch. See, we got,
if it's in the sky.
Got the guy from the Decimation chiming in. Well, so those are like the green people, the ones that
are drinking at the bar, right?
Right. Well, they're the ones that in what's the dude's name? Michael Cray. That's the one that's inside him. Is a Skywatch alien.
Okay. And
then Io are those
daemons.
Yeah, the daemons, basically.
Okay. So they're gray. There's gray and there's green.
Basically.
Okay.
So I mean,
what's the EM? Is an emp? Is that what the green guys are? And then the daemons are the gray.
It might be.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. We'll let Marvin read it and let us know.
What's the question?
There's like a layman's terms name for the Skywatch and IO different types of aliens.
We didn't know if EMP.
I think they introduced it in this issue, so we'll let Marvin dissect it and let us know. His head just exploded. I think Warren Ellis is putting a lot of science in here, and there's a lot to dissect, but it almost is getting to the point where it's just too much effort, and I'm kind of ready for.
I just want like 2 issues of beating people up, because that's what this issue was. There was a lot of science, a lot of mumbo jumbo being said, and I was like, I have no idea what the hell you're saying anymore. I think
talking about right now with you, it's getting a little clear, but I'm also like,
I still don't know what the mumbo jumbo is.
Have we done that the last 7 issues? Like, yes. let's move on from this.
I'll say that it's kind of like Michael Cray. The first 6 issues, spectacular. Which that's what the whole series was. The first 12 of this series, amazing. So good, so fun, and every arc or even every fourth of the book had a good fight scene or a good, getting to know these characters. I feel like we're getting away from the character knowledge, and maybe that's because we've already expanded enough. I guess this was the Sparks issue, but I'm kind of needing a little more. Remind me of what these characters do, right? Remind me of how badass they are, because all we're seeing right now is Zealot went to go get a drink. And these 2 aliens are, there's Zealot right there. Don't let her know we're here. Just keep drinking these 1,000 drinks. I don't know.
I'm going to give it a 7 because that art is seriously so fantastic. And I didn't think the story was super alienating. I just thought it was a lot to dig into.
I would agree with you. 7 is this book is solid. I think a part of it is we weren't on a hiatus. I would probably have kept going and understood what we were doing. But it looks great and it is strong. I'm just waiting to see where we end with this book.
It's fantastic. I know exactly what's going on. 10 out of 10.
Descender.
Descender. Alex, take a look at that. The next book we have here is Batman number. What's the number? 63 by Tom King and Mikhail Hanin. That's on Hoopla, by the way.
I'd read that.
That is Batman. So we are having an issue, which, by the way, I didn't realize we were in the Sixth Sense or an M. Night Shyamalan movie because that twist at the end it threw me for a loop. So the whole issue, I'm reading and being like, did I fucking miss something? Like, what's going on? We have an issue where we see Catwoman in her wedding dress shows up to Bruce to give a little kiss, and then it cuts to that she's in her new suit. A lot of cuts here. And eventually I got on it that maybe he was dreaming, and Constantine's trying to walk him through the dream. He's being his guide. But then we get to the end, and Constantine reveals that, no, he's also a figment of Bruce's imagination. Bruce is stuck in a chair getting pumped full of scarecrow toxin and is forever stuck here until he goes actually mad with all these kind of dreams. Basically, what happened is Catwoman died in his dream, and basically he's going to be tortured by these kind of things until he goes mad. So she got shot by a sniper, just like Dick Grayson. Oh, excuse me, Rick. And
he was Dick at the time.
What did you think? Let me ask you guys a couple questions here about this issue. The art, we know Hanin likes to go and do some crazy layouts. Did you feel like this one wasn't really like that?
This is right on the nose. Just everything was plain and simple, and I think that was the elegance of this issue, though, was that it was just what you see is what you're getting, and that little bit of seeing Bruce and Catwoman together really gave me that strength. I mean, didn't make issue 50 better, but it did remind me, oh, Bruce is still struggling with what's going on. And I liked the John Constantine moments where John's really just telling him, hey, what you're doing, it's not necessarily not real, but it's not going to end well for you. He's already given him preemptive thoughts. And Bruce is like, no, bro, I got this shit. This is fine.
I'll agree with Hanin, what you said about his artwork. It's more realistic in this issue rather than the crazy layouts, because I think it helps set up that this is actually really happening, and then you slowly realize that it's a dream, and then you slowly realize what kind of dream it is. What were you going to say? I interrupt you.
Oh, no, I didn't say anything. I mean, I really like the art. I think it was like the safest I've ever seen Hanin do it, like layout-wise.
I'm assuming that is the reason, though, because if it was crazy, you'd be like, this is fucking dream. Like, right away. Like, so one kind of easy.
To be fair, I think we already had that suspicion, though, that there was something ridiculous going on.
I don't know. You never know with these issues. He might just end that storyline, and we might go on to the next one.
You know, you could be right. Tom King's like, fuck everybody. Here's this new one.
Because
like the last 4 issues?
Actually, a scene I really did enjoy a lot is him showing Catwoman how to get into the Bat Cave, and he needs to put the clock to the time that his parents died, and she goes, that's not healthy, that you need to make the basically password to get in is the time that your parents died. And he said, we're people dressing up in animal suits going out at night. And she goes, okay, 10:48, right? And
that was pretty funny.
And then she goes, but maybe we get rid of the pole. And he was like, no way. Maybe get rid of that pole. You should go Val Kilmer style, Batman Forever, get in that desk, slide down.
That'd be cool.
And then like Alex was saying, Constantine's constantly behind him, be like, this is not going to turn out good for you. And kind of trying to be like, hey, man, like give him hints on what's going on. But Batman wants to believe these kind of things because he's still kind of stuck in this reality within his mind that he could have had a happy ending, stuff could end up happy, and then realizing that in this world, his nightmare is that he would get Catwoman back, but then lose her forever in some kind of way. So I thought it was good. I didn't think it was excellent. It just seemed kind of like I kind of get it after the last 3 issues that we're in this nightmare kind of thing. I don't know where we're going with that, but it's not bad. It's just like I would agree. There's good scenes, but we haven't enough story in the story that we have in the last 3 issues. So.
I feel like they're waiting till Detective Comics 1000 to reveal some big chunk of this story, because it's just like we're waiting, and I can tell. It's just the story. Like you're right. There's a lot of good scenes in there. Like I love that clock scene. That was funny. That was really good. There's some other moments that, again, we're just kind of like we're just phasing through because it's like, oh, this is going to strike an emotional chord with Batman. I think what is going on the outside, back in Batman Nightfall, they tried to
wear him down
physically.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is doing the same exact thing, but they're maybe Bane's thinking we need to do it mentally.
They realize physically you cannot break the bat, but mentally. Yes. Bat's already half broken because of his parents.
But the Bat is actually doing a very good job of whatever, even if it's not John Constantine in his head, Bruce is still putting things together, going, okay, something's not right
Well, yeah.
here.
Constantine,
So I mean, Bruce is still being
Constantine
world's
basically
greatest
is
detective.
a part of his mind telling him, hey, this is not real.
Yep.
Constantine's not really there. It's just
Right.
a figment of his mind being like, hey, this isn't real. Wake up. Which makes sense that it would be Constantine. He's like, what did he say? Oh, you would be a hero if you weren't such an idiot, it says, but I'm pretty sure he meant asshole. But it's like this part of Bruce that always is like the one that pushes himself farther, the one that makes sure to think of every single thing. And the Bruce that's falling for all this stuff is the one that really wants to get married to Catwoman, wants to walk away from this life and not do it anymore. So I thought like it's not bad. Like if this would have been in a one-off issue and I knew that going in, I'd be like, okay, cool. But I think group with the last couple issues where we're doing the same thing over and over, I think I'm like, okay, I get it.
I'm still struggling to figure out the tie-in to 61, where it's the other guy that killed his family and is trying to live the life of Bruce Wayne. I understand the last issue, 62, with Professor Pig and it turning out to be Damien and all that shit. I get that. And I understand this part is finally we're getting to the, next issue is probably Dick Grayson's going to die. Well, he already got shot in the head. Maybe Barbara will get killed or
That's
Jim.
the thing. We know there's going to be more one-shots about him being stuck in this dreamscape. And I'm already getting sick of it.
Is that true?
No, I'm just assuming. This is just me speculating.
Let me look.
Seems like the nail's 90% in and we got to go the extra 10 here. Because I bet 65 is when he starts.
I think I'm at that point where now that we know what Scarecrow's doing, I can't wait to see that one part where Bruce, comes out of it and grabs Jonathan Crane by the face.
Right.
And I'm Batman.
Which I feel like that should be the next issue.
Well, I think we're getting to that point we need to come out of this because it really is kind of dragging its heels. I mean, this issue looked spectacular. This is actually, I think, being so straightforward in art looked great, and I loved it. And probably one of the best looking Batman is from Hanin, at least realistic looking Batman. Looks spectacular. But I'm getting kind of fatigued with the story, and I'm hoping there's a little more.
Batman.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
I need some Batman in my Batman
Not
book.
Nightmare.
I'm going to give this a 6. Art, super good. Story, I get it. It's a dream.
Yep. I'm gonna give it a 7. A little more emphasis on the art, and for me, it's kind of nice to see the reminder from John telling Bruce this isn't going to end well for you, and actually see just Catwoman and Bruce have a little bit more time together, and what would it have been like if their wedding had come true.
I got some information, but what did you just say when I was looking this up?
I gave it 6.
6. I'll give it an 8. It was okay, but
8's okay?
Yeah.
That's like above average.
well, I mean,
Sergeant's going to listen
good.
to this and be like, okay,
good.
whoa, shit.
I meant good. Tom King is not actually writing 64 and 65.
Oh, yeah, I heard
He's taking
about
a break
this.
because he has a television project that he's working on, but he'll be back with 66.
Who's getting 6?
Josh Williamson.
They're doing the
they're doing the
four-part
crossover.
Bat Flash
crossover.
crossover
That's right.
with Gotham Girl. So
But see, now here we go. Now we're going to have 2 more months of not getting back to the main story.
Just 1 month. 2 more issues, but 1 month.
I guess I thought it comes out monthly now.
every 2 weeks.
Oh, every 2 weeks still?
Only
Okay.
some of them come out monthly.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
But
That's
again,
just a lot of time.
But again,
not-
now we're
By
getting we're
itself.
getting sideboarded to go to something else, and unless it's
we're
all going
already
to tie together.
sideboarded.
Because the only thing that's bugging me is that that's what issue 60 was, where it's Thomas Wayne from Earth 2 attacks. I wanted that story. So now there's 3 or 4 storylines going on that I realize there's a whole shitload of bad guys working together to screw over Bruce. But
How many-
I need to see some ass kicking.
How
from
many
Bruce.
issues until 1004?
Yep,
yeah.
97 just came out, so 3
3
more.
So the issue he comes back on will be 999. Tom King will come back for 66, and that's when Detective should be around 999, like in between 999 and 1,000. So you might be right. Waiting for 1,000 to get the little kickoff. But you know what? If this would have been by itself, just judging this issue by itself, it's fine. But knowing that we're in this kind of cycle, that's the thing that kind of brings it down for me. But in terms of this comic, not bad. Pastrala?
Isn't it you?
No, I
Just
did
did
Batman.
Batman.
He did Batman?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
He Wildstorm.
Wildstorm.
Oh, that's right.
I did hand you my
I
phone.
don't need my thing
I did
anyway.
hand you my phone to look at Turtles and
So that's okay. I was like, I don't know. Anyway, next book, Guardians of the Galaxy #1, written by Donny Cates, art by Jeff Shaw. So I opened this book and already was super excited.
Yeah, pretty much one of the coolest openings to a Guardians book ever, where there's this huge council being led by Thanos' son.
No,
And-
brother, Eros.
Oh, it's
Star
his
Fox.
brother. And Thanos' head is missing, and Thanos' body's just laying there.
This is so as we find out in this book, if we had read Infinity Wars, led by I believe Gamora, right?
Yep.
I'd never read it, had no interest in reading it.
He's going to sneeze. So basically, somehow Thanos died. And because of this, they're all having this huge council because Thanos left basically a contingency plan behind for when he died. And he gives this huge mission and informs everybody that, hey, I have a plan for when, if you're reading this, that means, yes, this body's dead, but I made it so that I will appear in someone else's body.
I can't wait to find out how that happened.
Yeah, we already find out issue 2. Or the contingency plan, how it came into existence.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I mean,
we'll
not
go into
even
that
necessarily.
next
I mean, who's the next body? Who'd he take
week.
over?
Right. They said they're going to reveal it in issue 2 already.
Really? That's
Yeah.
exciting.
The end.
Yeah, next issue, Thanos is dead. Long live the new Thanos, but who will it be? Well, the new Guardians of the Galaxy find that person in time before the universe comes crashing down. What were you going to say, Alex? Go ahead.
A lot of good things. You know, actually, I have one gripe with this book. So as
I already know what it is.
as a-
Cosmo's not part of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was a little pissed by that.
Motherfuckers.
I also wanted Howard the Duck.
Like, you can't have both.
Fine.
You were gonna get
I want
one.
Cosmo. Then I want the damn dog. My only complaint
Is he in
really
this
was,
Cosmo?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
when
here we go. I
the
see.
Black Order shows up,
I see. Hold on a second.
Huge letdown. He wasn't even on the cover. Cosmo is king.
he needed to be number
Oh,
one.
Howard is here too, yeah. In Cosmo.
My biggest surprise from this book, and I think the MVP of this book, Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
100%. Love that guy. Like,
Dude, Beta Ray's always been a fucking badass.
I know. He's so awesome.
Does he ever show up in the movies, you think? They were bringing him in?
Well,
I think
this would be the best time.
In Ragnarok, his statue's in
I
that
say his
movie.
statue's
Yeah.
there.
So he's obviously been a champion of that world, so...
But to be fair, Cosmic Ghost Rider's in this. He makes little suggestions of what should have shot that damn kid in the face when I had the chance. I laughed out loud at that, going, "Yeah, you're right. You should have."
Isn't that kind of cool? Like, we've had all that backstory behind that one sentence. And
And he talks to Silver Surfer, going, "Well, you killed me in the past or in the future. Don't be a dick."
I'm surprised there's not more Guardians asking questions on why he's there. Because, I mean, if I saw that, whatever Apocalyptic Ghost Rider, I would have been like,
Who's Frank Castle?
Well, we don't know. In Infinity Wars, maybe they met each other or something like that.
oh,
So
true.
And
True.
deep down inside, there's probably that kind of wants to go back and get those just to read them, but I might just wait until they come out and trade and I can catch up that way.
Yeah, find out a way to read it. One of your
that-
resources that I talked about at the beginning of the show. Something I did enjoy, and it's going to make me come off as pretentious, but I did enjoy that certain characters from the original Guardians team, not the original, but the one that are in the movie, are actually back to how they were before the movie came out. Because when the movie came out, they kind of changed it to be like the movie. So, for instance, and actually it changed a little bit before the movies, like Groot can actually talk. He's always been able to talk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. So that was actually the thing that kind of bugged me, but I only know him from the movies, so.
Yeah, he can always talk. The reason why he says I'm Groot only is because one time he died and came back and his vocal cords were more solid when
So
he
he
came
only
back.
could say
So he
three
can only
words.
say 3 words. So now he talks again, and Star-Lord wasn't super jokey like he is in the movies.
Well, it's 'cause he was drunk
He was
all the
more
time, yeah.
serious, and that's the kind of Star-Lord. He was like a badass. Like he wasn't actually a joke. He actually was somebody who should be called
And
Star-Lord.
I'm sorry, but that Star-Lord outfit a million times better in the comic than it is in the movies. Looks
All
so
he
good
needed,
with
I just
blue.
wanted to wait for his mask to come back on. Well, I guess it's been on a couple times, but
So I'm excited for this. Jeff Shaw's art is fantastic. I just looked through it again here when you guys were talking, and I did the little perfect thing. There's even little things like Alex was saying. I didn't notice Cosmo down there or Howard the Duck, but you go back, there's all those details of all those
Oh, there's
characters.
so many characters in those first
Galactus
couple
is in
pages.
this issue. He's in the first page at
There's
least.
something about Jeff Shaw's art that makes everything feel epic. Like
Yeah.
you just look at it and you're like, even like those Beta Ray Bill scenes when he's flying towards the Guardian ship. You're just,
Where he chucks his hammer.
Yeah, it just looks great.
I think part of it was the coloring, though, was spectacular.
Did Jeff Shaw do in colors? Check it out.
That I don't know. I guess I didn't look to see if it was, but the coloring was spectacular, and I liked the callbacks to other Guardians thing. Going, where's Drax? Well, Drax is dead. Where's Gamora? Well, she's a villain. Where's Rocket?
I really
Who
feel
gives a
like
shit?
it will be fun to go back and read Infinity Wars because, like, even the Milano ship is now just called what is it? The
Ryder.
Rider.
No,
after Dick?
Winona Ryder. Yeah.
After Dick?
Right.
No, Winona.
Shut up. And so, like, something obviously really tragic happened to that team and that family, and then there's even
Sorry, did you just tell Alex to shut up because he said a line from the book?
what?
Dick Ryder.
He said Winona Ryder, and you said
No,
shut
he
up.
said Dick Ryder.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's what the Guardian or not Guardian Nova asked him.
Right.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Winona
No,
Ryder.
I was being a dick.
Oh, okay.
Dick Ryder. No, no.
But I think the part that I really want to know more about is like when they're talking about Rocket and Groot's like, we don't talk about Rocket.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
So what falling out did they have, or what did?
We don't know. Infinity Wars. That's what happens when you read an event.
The only thing I am bummed.
It's not crucial though
is
to reading this book.
There's
No, it's not. But just as I like Rocket the Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon.
There's some new characters on this Guardians team that I don't know, like what's her name, like
Those two
Phalanx or Phalan or I don't know.
Well,
what it
there's
is.
not a title page in this whole issue. So I can't even find who did the coloring. I think it's Marty Garcia because he's on the cover. Or Gracia, so sweet.
So like basically, there's like the Black Order comes to
Take
where,
the body
where
of
they're
Thanos.
having they get the body of Thanos away, and whatever.
Not the head, though.
Not the
He's
head.
decapitated.
No one knows where the head is. They transport through this portal
See, I
and
didn't
land right into the Guardian, land into Star-Lord and Groot, and whoever makes it through that portal is our new Guardians
See,
team.
what I don't understand. So did the Black Order go through that portal that led them to the big baddie, and that's where the other people are, or did they throw a separate thing and they went in a different portal?
I think it's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
assume,
they threw like a black hole portal.
I assume Beta Ray Bill made that, and that's where he took some people with him.
No, it was the Black Order that made it and made
Because
it
they threw Proxima Midnight chucks a grenade and it blows up.
Yeah, they created
And then
the
everybody got sucked into it.
right.
Beta Ray Bill throws his hammer. That hammer can go a fucking long ways.
Yeah,
And it has a chain on it.
that
I
is
need.
pretty cool. And then
Winchester's
Beta's
good.
the first one to come through the portal and lands
Dragging
in
a handful of people.
Right. That's where we get Cosmic Ghost Rider, him.
The two new people I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Two girls.
I really wish maybe they'll hopefully break it down in the next issue a little bit better.
Here's who it is. I love that next cover though. Next cover's got just heads.
Right.
Rock on.
I think it was
Moondragon?
What?
Moondragon, right? One of the girls.
Was Moondragon? Okay. The
Yeah.
blue girl.
I forget who the other girl was. I didn't.
He's that as like Phalia or Phalia or something.
It's like
Phalanx.
Phala something or N or I don't know.
I'm interested in this team. This is one of those books
I
where
am.
it's not the regular team that you see in the movies. It's got kind of a nice hodgepodge. I just need Cosmic Ghost Rider needs his motorcycle.
Yeah, I think he'll get that. I just kind of wish there was like one or two more characters on that team. And I get it, you don't want to have a super huge team, but I was kind of looking for a little more wow factor. But I think Beta Ray Bill, Star-Lord, and Groot, and Cosmic Ghost Rider will be awesome. I don't know about these two
Girls that we don't know
girls.
yet.
I don't know who they are.
But
sure
maybe
they'll be great
maybe the other
additions.
characters obviously I can't imagine got destroyed or killed.
Moondragon she's very powerful. So
She the green one or the blue one?
the green one.
What's the other one's name? Anyway, I'm hoping that we get a few, like one or two. I think I agree with you, Garrett. They need a little bit more of
Falia.
Faya.
And then we need Cosmo.
That dog.
This was great for me. This was my pick. I don't know if I could ask for something more. This is exactly what I wanted first. It's enough to be like, okay, I'm in, but not enough to be like, okay, there's too much in this first issue. It's a nice opening to be like, here's all that happened, and that you could just read this and not have to go back to read Infinity War. And then now we have the kind of catalyst for the story. Thanos is in somebody else's body, and they're also Hela is trying to bring back Thanos and his actual body. So
It's going to kind of maybe it could do potentially like a little Thing story, like The Thing, not Fantastic Four The Thing, but like John Carpenter's The Thing, because like they're not going to know
Who's
who Thanos is.
my money is on Howard the Duck. That's why he wasn't introduced to the team.
What if it's Cosmo?
It might be
My
Cosmo.
guess
I don't know why
is
he wouldn't
it's
pick Hulk though.
the blue girl.
I instantly thought about it though. Why would Thanos not pick Hulk?
There's probably some criteria, like he needs to do something.
Holy shit! It's Punisher. And that's not even from Warzone. That would make sense from Cosmic Ghost Rider the book. Make it be Frank Castle.
I would
Look
give
up
this.
there.
I'd give this a 9. I thought it was really great. I mean, I'd give it a 10, but I just think, like, again, this is a great first issue. So as a first issue, I'll give it a 10, but it has, like, story-wise and art and everything together is just single issue, 9.
I think I'm just going to give it a 9. It could have been a 10, yes. But I think I unfortunately went into it with a little bit different expectations. Delivered, this book was amazing, but I'm still just going to give it a 9.
10 for me.
Of course.
Good.
Now, my pick of the week and the last book of tonight's show is Buffy the Vampire Slayer #1, written by Jordi Belair with art by Dan Mora, godfathered by Joss Whedon.
God, this book was amazing.
Let's just start off the bat with a high note, which is Dan Mora. That guy, you just miss him on a monthly book. That's only the first issue, and I missed him on a monthly book. He has such an ability, and you can tell he's doing his own colors too, like 100%. You can tell that he is so good at what he does. He can get like Sarah Michelle Gellar's face down with Buffy, Xander, and Willa. Where's it? Willow. He got their faces down like pretty on lock. And
Well, even the vampire that we first get introduced to. So Buffy's working at some burger shop. She goes outside.
was it Tuniverse or
Tuniverse, you're right.
Yeah.
Tuniverse. I need to take my 15-minute break. Okay, well, be sure you're back in 15 minutes instead of that bullshit. Normally bullshit, they don't say that, but
Right.
she goes on this break. Xander and Willow are walking. All of a sudden, vampire's out. Hey, I want to eat your face.
And Buffy gets into Buffy mode.
Beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, kills him.
Did I hear you work at Tuniverse?
Yeah.
And they actually, even the vampire seemed legitimately like what the character would have been in the show.
Right. Yeah, they do that warped face thing with that universe's vampires. So it looks very, very similar to the TV show, which it should. That's what it's paying homage to. So the next day, like literally, Buffy killed a vampire in front of 2 humans that have never seen a vampire in their life, even though they live in Sunnydale.
Yep.
So next day, they're trying to track her down. And they find her, and she's talking to Giles. Which did you used to watch the show on TV?
I've watched a good chunk of the show.
I forgot how much I love Giles.
Yeah.
Giles is king. Like he's just awesome.
He's a dick.
He's
And
a dick, but he knows so much, and he's funny.
Yeah.
But he is training Buffy to be a Slayer, which is
Her destiny, right?
Yeah, right.
She was born to be a Slayer.
right, the Vampire Slayer. So that was really cool. And then we cut. So there's only one gripe I had with this issue is there is a shop, a downtown shop that has all these magical items and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
And the girl looks almost 100%. It took me until the end of the issue to realize that wasn't Buffy, but it looks pretty close to Buffy. And I was
The girl running the store.
the girl running the store, and I was just so confused. I was like, "What the fuck?" I mean, they're both wearing red at one point, and I'm just like, "What are you trying to do here?" But it made sense by the end of the issue. They literally have a panel on the left that is the last panel with Buffy, and then the panel on the right was with the shop girl, 2 different faces, and that's where I'm like, "Damn, Dan Mora! Like, holy crap!" Got to give credit to Jordi Belair, like. Great writer. I think wrote this book awesome.
Yeah, this didn't even seem like a Jordy book, and I guess I hadn't read Redlands, and that's what she's been writing herself. This book it read like it was the early 2000s Buffy, had lighthearted jokes. Actually, I had to look at Dan Moore's art. So there's a dream, not necessarily a dream sequence, but Buffy is on patrol, gets attacked by 2 vampires, and she immediately pulls out that stake and stabs one. I missed it. Because then she's fighting the other one, stabs him in the chest while he's wearing this medallion, and no, sweet cheeks, that ain't gonna work.
Right.
And then he disappears to go find, get friends. I had to take a double look because I didn't see how fast she did that stabbing in the chest.
But I think it's good to know that medallion, all of them have, not just that wasn't the same one.
Yeah.
Because he goes to that shop again with random girl, and he gets burned alive basically.
He wants to buy it from her.
Right.
And she goes, you and mortals, not necessarily that you're all the same, but you think you're tough shit. She gets the medallion off and then melts his face. No, the medallion's still on.
Right.
She melts his face.
Right. And there's also a scene where Willow and Xander ask Buffy to hang out, and Buffy's so excited because she was so lonely. And, even the back whatever message on the book is like, I only have me to do this. And it's like, the Scooby Gang, as they're called, they're going to become great friends and work together just like they did before, just in a different, already huge change of continuity. At the end of this issue, we get Anya, who doesn't show up for a couple of seasons in the original show.
Yeah.
Basically Spike's girlfriend, whatever. His first girlfriend, besides crushing on Buffy all the time. So that's crazy because she's there right away, and she's got a lot to do with what's going to be happening in the plot.
There's only a few things that not necessarily a big deal, and I realize we are paying homage to the show, but where Willow and Xander and Buffy are watching TV, and she tells them, I'm a vampire slayer. That wasn't just some weirdo that I took out. That was a vampire. And they all laugh, and then they ask, have you seen ghosts and witches? And they go, Willow, you've got a girlfriend. You can't be crushing on these witches. It's and I get the references. She is a witch in the show.
Right.
And it's just okay.
A little on the nose.
Yeah, a little too on the nose for me. That kind of, not necessarily took me out of the issue, but it drew me in going, little
cheesy.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this issue a 10. I loved it. I was so excited for it. The art was great. I love that there's going to be an original story. I think the narration of Buffy and how she interacts with Willow and Xander, it's like watching TV. Seeing the cover to the next issue, I'm very excited. Just like most Boom properties that I've read, I know they're super taken care of. And at least for the next couple of years, this book is going to be gold.
Oh, I think I've missed Dan Moore on Go-Go Power Rangers, and that book looks amazing still, even though it's not him. But it was nice to see Dan Mora and just remind me how amazing he is at work.
Right. It's going to be awesome having him on a monthly book.
I'd give this a 9. I really did enjoy this book. This was a surprise for me. I was a little apprehensive of getting it even. I was like, no, I need to at least try it.
That
Dan
creative
Mora's on
team
it.
is too great.
Yep.
And, say what you will about Joss Whedon's recent work, but his past work is pretty great.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer #1, Guardians of the Galaxy #1, Batman #63. We have the Immortal Hulk #12, and the Wildstorm #19, and Shazam #2. So those are the books that came out this week. Pick them up where you want, how you want, and enjoy. Pretty good week. Actually, was enjoying, like Garrett, or actually Alex said on Twitter. Not a lot in quantity, but in quality. And actually, I do think Garrett said that on the Gauntlet. So he copied and ripped off Alex on Twitter. So,
oh damn!
And he's gonna act like he doesn't use Twitter, but he stole it from me. I'm gonna say that right now.
He was the first person to tweet my tweet, retweet my tweet.
Hey, I got a like from Jimmy Palmiato, and I got a like from somebody else too. God, let me look it up because it is somebody that you guys would recognize. Be like, oh, okay, cool. Because Sergeant America was talking about Wednesday Comics, the DC series, and he was asking. He said, "You guys better own this," and I say, "Actually, I do. I own 2 sets of the issues," which is true. Mike Allred. So they liked it, which is good because I think they both are one's a writer and one's an artist in that series. So I do have 2. One of them, a couple aren't in great condition, so I bought another one that is in prime right here, baby. It is hard to read, though, in that newspaper format. I'll tell you that much right now. Those are the books for this week. Let's play a little game that I made up. Who knows if it's going to work? How once in a while we're hit and miss on these games. But I was thinking about doing something, and we'll see how it works. Gary, can you hand me that DC Encyclopedia? So I was going to do this with the Marvel Encyclopedia, and I knew where it was in this room. And then, like I was talking about at the beginning of the show, disappeared on me. So I don't know. Maybe it's like Nightcrawler and it poofed out of here. Bamf. Or maybe Xavier came in here and...
The weird thing is I remember seeing it in your room.
Yeah, I know. I saw it in here like 2 weeks ago. So that's why last week, on the infamous 2% episode where you ran out of battery and couldn't do the rest of the show, that was the game I was going to play, but then I couldn't find it. So instead, we're going to do DC. So this game is called, and you, as a team, can answer me. So you agree on one answer and give me this. This game is called Fact or Fiction.
Fact or Fic.
What I'm going to do in the encyclopedia here is read to you either a fact or something I'm making up. You will decide between yourselves whether or not it is real or it is something that I am bullshitting fiction. So we'll go through it here first, and I won't make it something subjective. It will be something that is like concrete. For instance, what color is Superman's cape? And sorry, that's a question. Superman's cape is red. And you guys would say that's a fact, okay?
Right.
So it's not going to be something being like, Superman is the best superhero ever. That's objective. That's it. The best.
Fact.
Shit. Although I do want to read Action Comics. I'm not going to collect it, but I will read it
We get
eventually.
them trades.
I told you, go back and read that Golden Age. It's pretty good, huh? All right, let me find something here.
Is that subjective?
Firestorm, the nuclear man, he was first introduced in Firestorm number 1 in March 1977.
I'm going to say false.
I think that's
Doesn't
false.
sound right.
Fiction
False.
or fact?
Fiction.
Fiction.
It is fiction. There you go. 1 point for you guys.
Woo.
That's not really game in terms of points, but we'll give you a point to feel nice.
To feel nice.
The Green Lantern Corps, did the first issue come out? Was it a Green Lantern book by itself? Sorry, that's the wrong kind of question. The Green Lantern book was not the first Green Lantern book. The first Green Lantern book was Green Lantern, the New Corps, number 1.
I'm going to say false.
Yeah, fiction.
Fiction.
That is correct. Fiction.
I need to throw some facts in there. Just throw us out the game.
Fiction.
I had a good one here, so I just got to figure out where he is. This is what I was doing before he got here. I think Garrett came in when I was looking at this. Oh, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Killer Croc's official weight
Oh, snap.
is 686 pounds. Fact or fiction?
It's got to be fact.
Killer Croc is his weight 686 pounds.
Depends if we're going by Arkham standards. That's probably not right. But I would say it's fact.
Fact.
It is, in fact.
Good one.
Lex Luthor.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Is it fact or fiction? Lex Luthor is 5'11".
Fiction.
No, I feel like that's fact.
I think he's 6 foot.
Same height as Superman? No, he's always a little shorter than him.
It just depends on who draws
I'm going to
him.
go fact. Wait, we said we don't have to agree?
I need a concrete answer. You guys are
So we both have to agree?
fact or fiction?
5'11", man. I mean,
All right. I'll go with you. You know Superman better than me.
I'm just guessing.
Lex Luthor, 5'11", fact or fiction? That is fiction.
Damn.
He's 6'2".
Whoa.
Taller than
He's
Superman.
taller than Superman, of course. Nobody gives a shit about Superman.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah? What's the plaque behind you?
I know, I'm just kidding. Plastic Man, his hometown is Cleveland. Plastic Man, his hometown is Cleveland.
Just read the comment.
God, where was he at, though? I thought he was in Seattle for some reason.
I feel like that's fact.
Fact?
Fact.
Fact, they say that Plastic Man's hometown is Cleveland. Chicago.
Well, let's just start with the C.
Chicago. Poison Ivy
Oh.
is listed in here as her occupation as a criminal, a mastermind, and an eco-terrorist. Fact or fiction?
That is 100% fiction. She's not an eco-terrorist.
She's not mastermind.
Yeah, fiction.
Fiction, they say that is correct. Mastermind is the one I threw in. It does say eco-terrorist. So
She's an eco-terrorist?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
She always
What do you mean?
She's not destroying the ecosystem, but she destroys people who
Destroy.
hurt.
she's for the ecosystem.
But if it's in the same word, wouldn't it be terrorizing the ecosystem?
You would think so.
The Riddler's occupation, by the way, fact or fiction, states here criminal and mastermind. Fact or fiction?
There's more to it. False. Fiction.
Okay, fiction. I feel like that's fact, though.
Well, what you guys
Fiction.
agree or disagree?
Fiction.
Who's going fake? We're saying
They're going fiction on this, and it is fiction, but not the reason why Alex said his occupation, professional criminal. So,
Wow, they really worked hard on these encyclopedias.
you know what? Somebody sat down and took the time. Shaggy Man is a character first introduced in Batman number 45.
I think it has to be true because I don't know.
Fact.
Shaggy Man is a character that was actually introduced in Justice League of America number 45.
Batman was in it though, right? So it counts.
His abilities are superhuman strength, near invulnerability, body part regeneration. They should bring this guy back.
Is he actually a Shaggy Man?
Yeah, I'll show you in a second.
Oh shit!
Look at this guy. He looks like a Sasquatch, but he's got a beard. He's got a mustache.
Shark. That's an original.
Which I don't
name.
know how you grow a mustache like that when your whole body's shaggy. So
Is that Shadow on the left there?
Yeah.
No, your bottom left.
Shadow Dragon.
Shadow Dragon.
No, oh, I see. That's Shadow.
Oh, shark.
No.
Oh, Shadow. Yeah. I was about to be like, Shaggy Man's occupation is listed as.
Hairy Man.
It says not available. He doesn't have a job. A bum. That's why he looks like a Shaggy Man. He's not going to interviews. All right, so I'd like to sign up to be your cashier. Dude, what don't you have? A mirror or scissors?
Looks like his eyes were even shaggy. So
Solomon Grundy.
born on a Monday. You're right.
His weight is 500.
on a Tuesday.
517 pounds.
Married on Wednesday. Yeah, married on Wednesday.
Yeah. I feel like that's fiction.
I think he's heavier than that.
517?
I was thinking he's heavier than that.
Fiction.
Fiction.
Fiction. It is, in fact, fact.
What? How was
517.
Killer Croc bigger than Solomon Grundy? I call
What
bullshit.
do you mean? Those scales weighed a lot. This guy's got a suit on. He's slick.
He's also a zombie, so I suppose he doesn't have all the organs.
True.
Solomon Grundy's height is listed as 7'5".
I think he's 7'8". I think he's taller than that.
Are you serious?
I think so.
All right, fiction.
Fiction.
Fiction, they say that Solomon Grundy is not that size. It actually is fact, 7'5".
Son of a bitch. Who knew Solomon Grundy? Well, you know what? Arkham, he's huge. He's like 12 feet tall.
The occupation for Hugo Strange is
Doctor.
criminal. Fact or fiction?
Professional douchebag. That'd be correct.
I feel like that's not right, but it's probably fact in this book.
So I agree. I think it'd have to be like professional psychologist or psychiatrist, but criminal. Just professional criminal?
Just says criminal, not
No.
even professional.
Fiction.
It's got to be fiction.
Can't do
That
it.
can't be just criminal.
That is correct. It is fiction. It says psychiatrist and criminal.
These boys know
Is
it.
that really an occupation, being a criminal?
Yes, you make money off of it.
He does.
Professional criminal.
I don't know if he
Well,
does.
Some criminals.
Well, see, he's
do.
not professional about it.
He's just a
He's
criminal.
casual. You know, when you go
makes
like,
He's a casual criminal.
you know, some people say you would be professional. You sign up, you get up in a suit. Hugo Strange, sweatsuit when he robs places.
There you go. More agile that way.
Bro.
In this book,
Strikes it.
in this book, Superman, his height is listed as 6'4".
Whatever you say, I agree with.
Fact.
Fact:
Yeah, I agree.
Lex Luthor was 6'2". You're saying 6'4" is Superman's height.
Even Marvin confirmed. Lex is
It
taller.
is fiction. His height is 6'3", only 1 inch above Lexi.
Oh no.
That's how they get you.
You guys fucked up.
You guys fucked up.
The Tasmanian Devil
He's a DC character?
first appeared in Super Friends number 7.
It's got to be fact. Fact.
suppose it
fact,
could be
fact.
They say fact, and that is correct. His
Super Friends is
occupation,
all the pets.
ex-engineer and drama coach.
False.
Hugh Dawkins was born in Tasmania. His mother was a werewoman, and his father, the leader of a Tasmanian devil cult. You know,
Hang on. So this
As you
isn't the Looney Tunes Tasmanian Devil.
This is, I mean, you could certainly have him meet
I
up
thought
one
we
of
were
those.
talking about that.
You know how they cross over with Looney Tunes? Why wasn't he in there? That crossover. Tasmanian Devil meets Tasmanian Devil. In this book for the Teen Titans, there are, at this time of printing, and I can look it up what time print it was. There are 7 members of the Teen Titans.
Okay, let's work.
You want me to look it up? I'll look up when this came out.
I feel like that was a bluff.
He had to make up. There were 6 plus 7 plus 1 is 7.
I'm gonna say fact.
I think it's so. Okay, so Robin, Impulse, Starfire, Beast Boy, Superboy, Raven, Cyborg.
Aqualad.
I don't think Aqualad would be part of it.
He was.
But I don't think he's part of this one. 7?
Okay, fine. Fact.
Fact.
This book came out in 2006.
We're saying fact.
Fact was 7?
Yep.
It is 7. Robin, Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, Beast Boy, Starfire, Cyborg, and Raven.
Who did I put in there?
You put those.
No,
I didn't
you put
I didn't
in
Wonder Girl.
Wonder Girl. You had
Superboy.
Superboy.
Yeah, so I got it wrong. I got it right, but I got it wrong.
Steve Trevor first appeared in Wonder Woman number 8. Fact
see it.
or fiction?
Yeah?
I could see it.
I could see it being one issue later or one issue earlier, though.
Yeah, okay, fine. Fiction.
Fiction.
Fiction, they say it is fiction. All-Star Comics number 8 in the winter of 1941.
Nice.
The cold, cold winter.
Fact or fiction, Toyman? Toyman's hair is brown.
Oh, shit.
Fact or fiction?
I don't think it is. I think it's fiction. I think it's like blue.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Who am I thinking of?
Blue Man? I don't know.
Blue Man Group, they don't have hair.
Blue Boy?
Blue Boy? No,
Let's go fact.
His is blonde from Fables. Yeah, I'll agree with whatever Garrett said.
Fact.
Fact, it is brown.
Winslow
There
shot.
you go. Fact or fiction? Wild Dog is listed as occupations as a vigilante, an ex-soldier, and a mechanic.
I'm going to say fact. He was in the Navy because I only know this because I watched an episode of Arrow tonight. Fact.
Fiction.
It's fact. It's fact.
Okay, it's fact.
It is fact.
Because he was in the Navy. He is a vigilante.
Then Marvin's a great actor. Mechanic.
If you think that, why are you my teammate?
As a printing of this book, there were 6. Oh, actually, no, this one says original. There are 6 original members of Young Justice. True, fact, or fiction? Fact or
Robin,
fiction?
Superboy, Aqualad. Was there Flash?
Yes.
Martian Girl.
Yes. Starfire.
Starfire? She on Young Justice?
She is right now. No, she's not.
The original members, Garrett.
5.
I'll give you a hint. If they first appeared in April 1998. So I want that team.
I don't know. Fiction.
Fiction. There's 7.
Fiction.
There are indeed 6 original members of the Young Justice, so that is fact. Superboy, Robin 3, which is Tim Drake,
Yeah.
Impulse, Wonder Girl, The Secret, and Empress.
I didn't know 3 of those characters. So
Which one? Impulse, you don't?
Empress. I know Impulse.
Empress, The Secret, and what else?
And The Secret. Those are just those 2.
2.
I'll let Webster know 2 is actually 3.
I skipped the beginning, so let me go back to the beginning. Unless you guys want to hear Z characters.
Zatanna.
Zebra Man.
Zatanna Zatara.
Arsenal, also known as Roy Harper, by the way. He is based out of Manhattan, New York City. Fact or fiction?
I'm going to go with the big old fiction.
I'll agree with Garrett.
Fiction, they say. Fiction it is. He's actually out of Brooklyn.
Not it's because Star City.
Not actually. Manhattan. So, fact or fiction? As of the printing of this book, there are 2 people who were the Atom.
Fact.
Deal. Fact.
Deal fact, that is correct. Adam number 1 is Al Pratt, and Adam number 2 is Ray Palmer. So, do a couple more here, and then we'll stop. Brain is a character. What color? Excuse me. His hair color is listed as. I keep thinking these are actual questions. They're not. True fact or fiction? His hair color is listed as blonde. Brain.
Let's say fiction.
Has no hair. Fiction.
Fiction.
It is fiction. He has no hair. How do you know that? You know who Brain is?
No.
Oh, Doom.
Just assume the irony would be that he had no hair.
And the final question, and I think actually you guys are doing pretty well.
As I start keeping tabs.
And the final question that I'm going to ask you. The color of the Dragon King's hair is black. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Fact.
The Dragon King is... I will give you some hints here. But you get already answer, so. All-Star Squadron number 4. He is his first appearance. He is a villain. Missing in action as of this book. Real name unknown. He's an assassin. He's 5'11", 184. Brown eyes. Human lizard hybrid. Genius inventor. Superior athlete and combatant is his powers. And his hair color is none. He has no hair. So fiction.
Damn.
That is fact or fiction, DC edition. Maybe when I find that Marvel book, we'll do Marvel edition. But that is some facts
Or
and
some fiction.
Yeah, you know what? You got to figure out whether or not this is called the Lie Detector DC edition. Fact or fiction, I like that too. You used to watch that show. That's why I need that. I used to watch that show. Fact or fiction. Jonathan Frakes.
Oh, Ripley's Believe It or Not?
No. Wednesday Comics 605 at gmail.com. Please send me how many people want gear off the show from that comment, and I will make it happen.
Was that too young a reference for you?
No, I know what that is. At Wednesday Comics, at Garot2188, at Alex Pastrello, at Marvin_Salguero. You know, keep on Twitter. We had a nice Twitter conversation all week. Alex is tweeting today about the quality of the comics. We know Garrett's looking because he's copying them, but, you know, everybody else should be looking too. I actually have it set up, not you, because you barely tweet anyways. But Pastrello, every time he tweets, I get a text, and I go check it out. So,
When I tweet, it's worth tweeting about.
I want to be there.
Retweeting doesn't count.
I want to be there to involve myself in his conversations because we like to connect with the fans, unlike you, and we like to make it personal.
Hey, I'll connect with them.
Facebook.com/Wednesday Comics Podcast. Make sure you like the page, share it with your friends. Let them know to listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher Radio. And make them, you know, subscribe your grandma. Let her know that she wants to get into comics. They're at the library.
Grandma.
So you don't think your grandma would like a comic, Green Lantern?
She might.
Look at Hal Jordan. He's got good abs.
Should we do that one time? Top 5 comics my grandma would like?
Saga.
No.
Comes Christmas. Alex, there's dick sucking in here by a dragon.
Merry Christmas, Grandma.
Find us on YouTube to find the gauntlets. Not from last week, though, because Garrett didn't record one. So
I'm just going to put it out there. If we're not in the studio, we're not doing the gauntlet.
maybe I'll do it one time. YouTube Live by myself.
Good.
I probably won't.
I mean, I could do that, but I just feel like the gauntlet works better when we have all the gems together. But when it's just me, I get my head cut off like Thanos.
Boom.
Garrett, we have book club, I think.
Wednesday Comics, League of Extraordinary Gentle People, proudly presents
Criminal in Volume 1. That is Ed Rubiker, Sean Phillips, Val Staples on colors.
The Coward.
Shout out to Sergeant America for promoting our book
Volume
club
1.
on Twitter. He said he enjoys it very much because it's one book a quarter. He can read it and listen to our show and get another perspective on it. He was telling other people to join in. So if you want to, email us, tweet at us, Facebook us, or 605-215-1849. Drop a voicemail and let us know what you think of that book. But not only that, you want to drop us a line for anything. We need some things to talk about in Free Talk. Drop us a line, 605-215-1849. Got any questions about comics or even an opinion? No matter what it is, send it in. We'll talk about it, you know.
Got a book that we're not reading that we should be? Let us know.
You got an opinion on the recent comic movies that are coming out? You know, there's a podcast that I recently started subscribing to, a friend of the show, Casey, Backlot 605, about movies. It's good. So if they want to drop us a line, Casey? about any kind of movies, we'll go ahead and promote your show and talk about that too. So, rootsoftheswampthing.com, your definitive source for all things Swamp Thing. Make sure you pre-order Holland Follows number 3 on his Twitter today. That is DC Brutal Swampy. And on Facebook.com/rootsoftheswampthing. He dropped some pictures. He's got them all already printed. So who knows? Go to rootsofswampthing.com. I'm not sure if you can still pre-order it at the time of this recording. But to be fair, I've been telling you for like 3 months. So
Burn.
if not, if
snooze, you lose.
if you
Thanks, Arnold. Back to you, Marv.
if you listen to our Saga of the Swamp Thing Book 2 show, actually, I give you a little hint here. He does mention a way that you can get these in the future. Might be a little more expensive, but listen to that show if you're interested in that. You know what, guys? I think that's all the stuff we got to do. Good week of books. You know what? The thing with comic books is, and I've been busy this week. I got a kid coming. I got to get ready for this kid. At work right now, I'm working long hours. I got to deal with this guy at work over here across from me.
Burn.
Barely ever see him.
I was going to say, I didn't have to see him like the last 2 days. But when I'm not busy, I'm by his desk every day.
And then he just stands in the corner of my cubicle and just stares at me.
I try to scare you because you're so easily scareable. You can walk behind this guy. He does not know. And you see him, watching Titans on his computer screen during his lunch, to be fair. And you tap him on his shoulder and he freaks out. And one of these days, you're going to have a heart attack, and then I'm free to replace you.
Or it's going to be like Tosh, I'm going to turn around and punch you in the face.
What? What's that?
You haven't seen the bit where the guy was like,
Oh, you mean Tosh
in the
0.0?
trash? Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Tosh. I was like,
Oh, my
I
bad.
knew
Tosh
you.
0.0.
I knew you, man.
what was
I'm
I bringing up?
stupid. so-
But actually, I was going to say, I've been enjoying comics as a nice stress reliever. It's nice to jump into other worlds. And right now, I would say, more than movies, for me at least right now, comics are really killing it right now. We have a lot of good choices. We have a lot of good writers. We have a lot of spectrum of that genre. So, you know what we say? As our friends say over in Comic Book Look, keep it comics. But also, as we say over here, Alex will tell you in a second. My name is Marvin.
I'm Alex.
I'm Garrett.
Hey, everyone. Keep turning those pages.